Hey, hi everyone. Good morning. So, guys, as part of the today's session, we are going to see a brief overview on conditional statements. Okay. So, as part of the conditional statements, we have a if else if, nested if, all these things. We will say all these things with an examples in the next few minutes. When exactly we can use these conditional statements means basically I want to execute some portion of a code based on an outcome of a certain condition. If this person age is greater than 18, then only allow him. If if your salary is greater than 10,000, then only you can apply for a loan. So these are the conditions. If user is logged in, then only perform the further operations like that. So these are the various types of conditional statements that we have. Right. So let us see a practical implementation of these conditional statements and how exactly the syntax looks like. So here I'm creating a new file with a name as a conditional1.ts. Okay, I've just created this conditional1.ts. And here let probably age, let us go with an age itself. This age, of course, it's a number, and the value that I am defining here is a 20. Okay, here instead of age, student age. Okay, let a student age, it's a number and it's greater than 20. The conditional syntax, basically, irrespective of any programming language, there is a defined syntax, guys. So the syntax here is I'm adding a multi-line comment for a readability purpose. If we need to specify the condition, if the condition is true, if the condition is true, then only execute the logic inside the if. If the condition outcome is true, then only execute the logic present inside the if block. So let us try to implement this particular condition. See here, we used student age as a variable, right? So here, if okay, if student age is greater than 18, okay, you are eligible for a vote. Okay, you are eligible to vote. That's what I have defined. So here, what exactly the condition that I am doing? If the student age is greater than or equal to, if you remember the yesterday's comparison, basically greater than or equal to. So the same comparison we are just using it here. Right now, save this program and let's try to execute this particular program. See here, you are eligible to vote. Consider that I have given the input number as a 10. Okay, save this program and when we run it, okay, when we run it, and if you look at the console, huh. Okay, if you look at the console, what just happened? You are eligible for the vote is the previous program. Okay, so the point here is if the condition is true, then only it will execute the logic present in the if block. See, the age is not greater than 18. The condition is a false. Here, as it is a false, there is a nothing to execute. Hence, it doesn't printed anything to the console. Here, we have a using just a if. If this condition is true, only execute it. We haven't specified any else block. Ideally, where we will be specifying an else block, if followed by an else means, if this condition is true, execute it. If this condition is a false, then execute it. So here, the syntax for this if else here is, okay, so I'm writing down here syntax for if else. And this one here that we have written is syntax for if. Okay, syntax for if. Okay, perfect. Let me correct these spellings. Okay, syntax for if and the syntax for if else. So here, if the condition is true, execute this logic, else execute the logic present in the else block. Okay, now here, this is example for if block. Now I'm creating an example for if else block. Okay, I'm creating an example for if else block. If student age is greater than or equal to 18, print you are eligible for vote, else you are not eligible for vote. So what it will happen is whenever it is checking this condition, if this condition got a failed, it will not enter into the if block, it will enter into the else block, and it will execute the content present in the else block. Okay, for the time being, I'm just commenting the initial piece of a code if condition that we have created. Now I want to execute the if else. If you look at the age, the input that we are giving is a 10. So here it will compare this condition 10 less greater than or equal to 18. It is false. Hence it will not go to the if block. It will go to the else block and it will execute it. Let me try to run this program. And see here, you are not eligible to vote. That's it. As simple as it is got a printed down to the console. So this is the way how exactly we can use an if block and how exactly we can use an else block. Simple guys, it will compare the condition based on the outcome of that particular condition itself. It will be performing the further operations. So here the next one is else if. So when exactly we can go with an else if? Okay, we'll see that particular point in a minute. And here, ideally, right, a kind of a question that comes in our mind. Surendra, we are checking only one condition. Can we check a multiple conditions? Yes, of course, we can do that. So here, I'm doing as conditional conditional 2.ts. Okay, I have just created the program. Let a, this is a number which is equal to 10, and so okay, maybe the first number. Okay, let second number and let third number. So here what I have done, I have defined three different numbers. Okay, three different numbers. Let me add a comment. So my objective is I want to identify the bigger number. So how this is going to work in a manual situations, we will check whether the first number is greater than second number, and also the first number is greater than third number. So whenever it is greater than these two, we can say that first number is bigger. Right? The first number is bigger when we will call it in this circular case. So when the second number is bigger, if the second number is greater than first, and also greater than third. The similar way, the third, whenever you are calling the third as a greater means it will compare with the first and as well as the second. So here we are gonna use two different comparisons. Okay, we are gonna use two different comparisons. If you remember about the logical operators that we have used, logical and see, basically it will compare the multiple expressions. When all the expressions output is a true, the overall condition outcome is a true. That's what we have studied in the previous sessions. So here, if what I am doing is the first number is greater than second number. Okay, the first number is greater than second number, and also the first number is greater than third number. Okay, so what I am asking is whenever this is greater than these two, in such a cases, console.log, the first number is bigger. Else followed by an if. Basically, this is what the else if that we have, the third one. This is what the else if is. If the second number is greater than first number, and the second number is greater than third number, then we are considering it as a second number is a big. See, basically out of three numbers, the first number is not big, The second number is a not big. Ultimately, the third number itself is a big. Hence, we are not comparing any condition directly. We are giving it as a else. Okay, directly we are giving it as a else. If you look at the current example, right, out of all these three, the third number is the bigger one. So when I run this particular program, and if you look at this particular console, the third is a bigger. So consider that I have changed my first number to 100, and when I run this particular program, the first number is a bigger. So whichever the way how exactly we are updating those numbers, the script is being updated. And another small rule that we need to consider here is, guys, basically in an if block, if there is a single liner code is there, the logic is there, instead of specifying the open brackets and a closed brackets, we can ignore it. We no need to specify that. Okay, so copy these lines of a code, put it here, and whatever the above lines of a code that we have created earlier, I'm commenting them. Okay, I just commented them. So now here, if this condition is true, we have a single liner logic. So I haven't specified the braces there, the open bracket and as well as a closed bracket. Simply, I just deleted all the open brackets and the closed brackets. Okay, it's up to you. So ideally, right, whenever there are a multiple conditions or multiple statements that it needs to execute, right, in such a cases itself, okay, in such a cases itself, we will be putting this particular stuff. Okay, we will be putting, this particular stuff. Okay, the braces. Okay, perfectly all right. And then the last one that we need to consider here is a nested if else, basically. So which means inside one if there is gonna be another if, inside the else there is gonna be the next one, like that, a nested type of a condition. So here what I'm gonna do right now is conditional 3.ts. I just created it. Let, okay, probably what we are gonna consider, employee salary. Okay, employee salary number 25,000. Okay, so here if salary is, okay, if salary is greater than or equal to, okay, if salary is greater than or equal to 20,000, you are eligible for the bonus. And let bonus amount bonus amount of a number is equal to, I'm gonna give your existing salary into 0.3%. Perfectly all right. And here what additionally I'm doing is, if your bonus amount is greater than 5,000. Okay, if your bonus amount is greater than 5,000, you are eligible. You are eligible for, you are eligible for shares. Okay, share options. Okay, terminate it. Okay, terminate it. Else you are not eligible for shares. So guys, if you clearly observe, based on the salary, we are performing one condition, and based on that, we additionally do this particular bonus amount calculation inside an if you have another further if that's being performing. Okay, this is the way how exactly we can deal with it. It's up to you what kind of a calculations, what kind of an amount that you want to deal with it. So let me run this particular program and check it out. You are eligible for bonus, and also you are eligible for share options. So this is the way how exactly we can use these conditional statements, if else if, and nested if. And a kind of a question that comes in our mind, Surendra, in a previous sessions you have explained about a ternary operator, and now you are explaining about a conditional statements, right? At the time of a ternary operator also we validated a condition, and based on that the expression is being executed. So a question out over here is, Probably, right? A question that comes in your mind, when can I use these conditional statements and when can I use the ternary operator? See, the simple point that we need to consider here is with respect to the ternary, if the logic that you want to execute is pretty small, then you can go with a ternary operator. Else you will be going with the conditional statements itself. And can we add a multiple conditions in a single if? Yes, of course, we have seen in a simple example where we have added a multiple conditions in a single if. Okay, perfectly all right. That's all I have for this session. See you again in the next session. Thank you. Bye bye.